Now let's get into this world of Dillon Brooks, his mental space, because I don't know what's going on upstairs. Sounds like he can't decide what he wants to be in this series. And as a basketball player, let's talk about it because you can see that this team now down to the Los Angeles Lakers. Yeah, the Lakers are not fakers right now. They got the number of these Memphis Grizzlies. Obviously, Morant missed the game in there, and then Morant returns in the game 3, and he's the only one that wanted to play, it seemed like, in game 3, including Dillon Brooks, who we thought was about that life. Thought Dillon Brooks was about that life until I realized, oh, nah, just like all those tough guys, they're really soft on the inside. Let's talk through this. Okay, this is the same guy who has now made himself a household name, respect, by going at cats, like getting under their skin. You know, he even had an issue with Draymond Green. They had words, and Draymond Green like, dog, I'm the king of this. Like, I got the rings to prove that my talk actually materializes. You don't. And they had issues. Now, Dillon Brooks was riding that all the way through. And he had the quote, remember this series? I poke bears. I don't respect no one until they can come and give me 40 points. Really talk about LeBron. Hey, you great, you the king, but you over the hill, you're old, and you haven't even dropped 40 on me yet, so who are you? Okay. Well, they lose game 3, and this is the same Dillon Brooks. I don't know if this is his Jekyll side or his Hyde side, but trust me, it ain't like he's trying to ride like he was before. Here's him after the game saying, quote, the media making me a villain. You already know. When the cats start pointing at microphones and cameras, he done lost it. It's a wrap. The fans making me a villain. Y'all, you. Remember that? What was that in Men's Society? The kids. And then that just creates a whole different persona on me. So now you think I intended to hit LeBron James in the nuts. I'm playing basketball. I'm a basketball player. So if I intended, and that's whatever is the flagrant 2 category, you think I did that? That means you think I'm that type of person. Okay, Dillon Brooks, I think you tried to hit him in the nuts. Let me tell you why. I always get into my body language expert mode when I see these weird, unorthodox movements that end with bad consequences, right? Like if you could go, you reverse engineer, you're like, dog, he got hit in the nuts. That is either an accident or on purpose, right? So how do I always determine an accident? Well, within normal movements, obviously something can still occur. You can be going for the ball, miss the ball, damn it, and I hit him in the things. But in this situation, Dillon Brooks and his body position, as you can see him turning guarding LeBron James, kind of gives him one of these. Like, first of all, this is not natural. This is natural. You can see how I sit, I stand. This is my open position. This is my closed position. This is open, natural. This is closed, intentional. When you hit somebody like that, you're intending to hit them. Let's watch it. Oh, that's the left hand going to the left side. And all of a sudden you connect with the dandadas. All right, so I thought he did it on purpose. Now, why would he do it on purpose? Now we got to unpack who a Dillon Brooks is. The guys who know when they run their physical calculations, their emotional calculations, how they contribute to the game, they run those numbers. And when they hit that equal sign and that is below standard, you know what they do? They make up the difference by doing stuff like Dillon Brooks, right? They are the ones who are going to be always barking. Even though they can play, they still going to bark to try to close the gap between how they play good and those who play great. They also will go and cross the line. They talk their way to the line, and then they cross the line by doing close-in intentional things like hitting LeBron there. What is a game suspension to him? He's like, I am barely hanging on right now for this opportunity, and I'm a good player, but not a great player. Therefore, I'm an expendable player. So I got to do everything to make sure I stick out and do everything I can to contribute to the team. And it's funny, he's blaming the media, and he's blaming y'all, the fans. Me, the fans, right? He's blaming all of us. Why would you do that? Aren't you the same guy who had the foul last year that injured Gary Payton II. Remember that? He ain't getting suspended for what he did on LeBron, but we haven't forgotten that. Haven't you also been ejected, 3 games this year? Yeah, okay. So that's the media's fault. No, that's the fans' fault. Oh, no, that's our fault for actually being intelligent enough to sum up what type of player you are. Can't blame us now, big dog, because you don't have to play that way. Oh, you actually do. That's how you think about your game. That's the limitations you've come to understand and realize. Therefore, you try to close the gap. Now, I play with actual players, and football's a whole different energy and spirit, but still a lot of this translates. Rodney Harrison was a monster of a player, future Hall of Fame player. Had to clarify that for Rodney. There was this clip of me on Dan Patrick one day when Dan Patrick asked me who was getting into the Hall of Fame this year. But the clip made it seem like I meant in history or for life. So I said no to Rodney because I was like, I know how they feel about Rodney, the voters. Rodney only made 2 Pro Bowls and should have made 200 of them, right? I knew that people always had an issue with Rodney, so I knew he wasn't going to get into the Hall of Fame this year. Sorry, my dog, and sorry for others who thought I didn't think they were Hall of Famers just because of that. I digress. But a Dillon Brooks is the type of guy who, unlike a Rodney Harrison in the sport of football, Rodney going to go cross that line too, but he knows his game has already got him to that higher place, that next level. So watching Dillon Brooks blame everybody else for his limitations and the way he acts out and expresses those limitations is hilarious. Yes, the fans are laughing. Yes, the media is laughing. But we'll see who gets the laugh in this series.